Hey guys, how you doing? It's your boy M.K.S. There's just one thing missing. There you go, that's better. Oops. Sorry, I thought I'd just do a quirky intro. Hope that wasn't too cringe. Anyway, a while back, today being a Friday, and it was on Monday, so it was just this Monday, just gone 17th, so 4 days ago, I suppose you could say. If my math serves me correct, I talked about my imagination of what if M.B.S, which stands for Mohammed bin Salman of Saudi Arabia, and his consortium bought Juventus, an Italian team, and then I mentioned I mentioned in that video how I would love to talk about do different videos if I get the chance, if and when I get the chance, which I'm sure I will do over time, preferably in August, if not then maybe in September. But anyway, we're imagining if Mohammed bin Salman and possibly even other wealthy owners bought Italian clubs and what could happen. And I thought it'd be quite interesting to talk about imagining what sort of budgets they would have and what sort of players they would bring into the clubs. And because Inter Milan are playing tonight in the Europa League final, I thought I'd talk about some of the imagination about what sort of players we could bring in if we had that budget. I'd say I'm a big fan of all Italian teams, so I say we, as a fan, in quotation marks. Sorry, I say we in quotation marks as a fan. Sorry. So I'm not sure how much I want to repeat from the last videos where I know it's only I was like on Monday, but just in case people watch that, and then I don't want to bore them to repeat myself too much. But yeah, so when it was said that I'm actually wearing my Inter Milan top actually, because Inter are playing tonight. I was thinking I'm not sure if I want to wear like one of my other Italian tops to symbolise like how I hope all Italian fans will get behind Inter tonight, because they're representing Italy really in this final. But when I actually went to Milan, my mum actually kindly took me to Milan, so I have to thank her for that, I think, which I already did, but just to give her some credit. But yeah, so she bought me this top. It's not an official top, but it is like from Milan itself. So this is actually from Milan, as I say, and my mum kindly got it for me. So as I say, hopefully I'll send her this video to say thanks. As I say, hopefully it won't be too cringeworthy either. But yeah, just for fun, I thought like Friday fun day. I'll talk about imagining if Mohammed bin Salman bought Inter Milan. So I was thinking like when Mohammed bin Salman was putting in a bid for Newcastle United Football Club, and I mentioned in my last video as well about how my video where I did about Mohammed bin Salman buying a Juventus, about how it's like if he could replace one star and stripe club for another. So Inter also obviously has the stars and the stripes like Newcastle and Juventus. But yeah, so apparently that like for those who follow football or those who don't follow football, I probably should explain it. Mohammed bin Salman from Saudi Arabia was going to buy Newcastle, and he put a bid in, and the Premier League was sort of dithering or taking the time to make a decision. They didn't actually block the deal, or they didn't actually approve it. So in effect, they got bored, so they pulled out. So I think hopefully it would be the Premier League's loss and Serie A's gain. I'd say as a fan of Italian football. Hope I don't offend anyone when I say that, but anyway, yeah, hopefully, yeah. So I thought I'd talk about like my imagination about if Mohammed bin Salman bought Inter, and I hope Inter win tonight, obviously, as I say, because it'd be great for Italian football. As I love all Italian teams, so as I often mention. And I think it'd be really good for Inter in terms of the coefficient for those who follow football, and hopefully help Italian football to become number one again, like it was in the 90s or whatnot. But Italian teams haven't won for quite some time. I think the last time an Italian team won was probably actually, funny enough, Inter in 2010. So it's been like 10 years, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So that's a shame. Juventus have been to a few finals, but unfortunately lost them. So I think we're probably quite a few behind Spain. But I'd love to see, as I say, Italian teams dominating in the future, and like hopefully get some wealthy owners coming in and helping Italian football to return to the top as we were in the 90s. But so anyway, yeah, sorry. So I thought I'd imagine, like as I did with the other video, about what sort of players or managers could be brought in, and I thought it'd be interesting to imagine, like I say, and if I'm thinking like manager-wise, and again, I'd love to hear from, as I said in my other video, I'd love to hear from Inter fans or football fans generally, especially fans of Italian football, what they think. Hopefully not too, hopefully be polite enough, but hopefully it won't be too negative. I was going to say, sorry. But yeah, so I was thinking if with sorry, I'm jumping from point to point, but with Mohammed bin Salman and his consortium, they were going to spend 300 million, I think it was, or 350 million even. Let's say 300 million on buying Newcastle. So I imagine it'd be like, imagine if they spent the same amount on buying Inter. But I thought it'd be great if there was some sort of deal. Since I'm imagining and dreaming, I thought it'd be great if there was some sort of deal where the club, in this case Inter, got 30 million, which is obviously 10% of that money. So 10% was kept. And Sunning, who currently own Inter, who I know they're millionaires already, but I think Mohammed bin Salman has even more money to invest because it's pretty much much of Saudi Arabia's wealth. Though I can't imagine it'd be all of the wealth, as some people would suggest. But I thought, imagine if like 30 million went back into the club and the rest was kept by Sunning to obviously to buy the club. And I was thinking, like for the manager, I think I'd probably stick with Conte. Because I think he's doing a fairly good job with what he's got. And to bring this much money in, I'm sure he'd do a great job. But part of me was thinking, like, again, like different scenarios, like if we brought in like Zidane or someone like that, or Pep, to bring in that style of play. So I'd love to hear what Inter Milan fans think, whether they would like to have stick with Conte or bring in Pep Guardiola, obviously. Like part of me thinks Pep Guardiola would bring in like a style of play which is more entertaining or attractive, attacking football, which I think would be good for Italian football as a fan. Sorry, because like instead of having the defensive football, which is known to be a bit boring around the world, so it could like attract people to be to Italian football fans. I think the attacking, if you look at the most successful team, I think teams, a lot of them are attack-minded players, although, as I say, Conte's done quite a good job. But yeah, so like from a Juventus fan point of view, I think it'd be interesting to see if they would like to bring in Zidane, like who was obviously with Juventus for a long time, so it'd be like a cheeky way of like having one up on their rivals. But again, for this final tonight, I hope that all possible Italian fans from Juventus, even AC Milan, or all the other rivals in Italian football in the lower leagues as well, especially from Serie A, but even the lower leagues would get behind. In fact, probably even the lower leagues even more, because it would be really good for Italian football and hopefully benefit all Italian clubs to see the Italian team finally win something internationally. And hopefully that would do a lot of good for Italian football in the future as well. Say having the confidence, but yeah, it'd be interesting to see, like, if, as I say, I'd love to hear what Inter Milan fans think, or Italian fans think generally, like fans of Serie A generically, because would you like to see Pep Guardiola come in and, like, as a manager or coach at least one Italian team, and like bring in the Pep Guardiola style of attacking football, although he hasn't really done that well in the Champions League with Man City. But yeah, so I thought, in terms of players, I'd love to see, like, if that deal came through. And people said, as I mentioned in my last video again, people said that they had 300 billion to spend, but I'm going to imagine, like, if they had 30 billion over 10 years, that would still be quite a lot of money, because they say that the Sultan of Saudi Arabia is worth 300 billion. But I thought, excuse me, imagine if, like, over 10 years it was 30 billion that they spent on the club. So like whatever they don't spend on players, as I said in my last video again, hopefully they'd spend on youth development, like buying footballs, training equipment and stuff like that, to help young people to become better players, and also like even possibly giving local interests, young interests or their families' money, so that they could take that risk of if they got injured, they could still. So more people take part in football and take that risk to try and become professional. So hopefully that will benefit in Milan, but also the whole of Italy in terms of football, in terms of development of youth. In terms of players, I think would be great to buy. It would be like. I think it'd be great to have like pretty much like what I talked about in my last video with about Juventus, like buying possibly Alisson from Liverpool in goal, second choice De Gea, and also having Virgil van Dijk in defence because he's done really well and he could really bring confidence. And again, like as I mentioned in my video about with Juventus, like sorry to repeat so many ideas, sorry, but if they the former and current players from Inter like trained some of the youth and also were ambassadors for the club, even people like Ronaldo, the old Brazilian Ronaldo. But defence I'll probably keep pretty much the same. Maybe like have like our third choice goalkeeper, perhaps have the under-21 goalkeeper, so hopefully he can gain confidence, and maybe sell our first choice goalkeeper at this moment. So it'll obviously make even more money to buy players or to invest in youth infrastructure. In midfield, I'd love to, like I say, in my dreams, I'd love to have like Messi on the left, or Ronaldo possibly on the right, and players like Kevin De Bruyne, Eden Hazard, and players like that. Kante, I think it'd be great to see Kante join as a central midfield and rejoin Conte, but hopefully play him in his position where he's best, where he did so well for Leicester and Chelsea in the past, in his first season in Chelsea, and also like to see Pogba possibly join Inter, like if that deal went through, in the as a more attacking striker, but possibly up front, like keep the same, keep Lukaku, or maybe like have younger Lukaku up front with like a more younger player, like an under-21 player, but hopefully with all the service you get from that great midfield, young player like under-21 would still be able to score lots of goals because they have lots of service. Anywho, yeah, sorry if this video was a bit long. I was thinking of like talking about like imagining how much each player would cost, and then like from the budget and how much would be left for, to invest in youth. But I don't want the video to be too long. So as ever, I'd love to hear what you think about the video, and I'm out. Peace out.